Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. In today's video, I'm practically committing a crime, at least against the low-tiered players of World of Tanks. Now, in a video that I released earlier on this year, I talked about why I don't really enjoy playing low tiers. Long story short, but I thoroughly would recommend you still go and check out that video. The challenge isn't there, it doesn't feel fair. And even if you go on to smite a third, a half, 2/3 of the enemy team, it still feels as if you just had all of that knowledge that you've built up that the enemy team has not. And when you're playing at tier 10, at least you feel that there's a level that people should have been able to get towards, and it's kind of like a fairer engagement. I really don't enjoy playing any tiers lower than tier 6 unless it's purely for entertainment purposes, usually for the stream. However, I have absolutely no problem with spamming rounds against a Panzer B2. That is a tier 4 German premium heavy tank, and it has one of the best win ratios in the game. It has super preferential matchmaking, which means that it never has to meet any tier 5 tanks, only its tier and lower. And when you're playing a tier 4 vehicle and you see one of those either on your team or the enemy team, yeah, you know you're inside a nice matchup. Today, I'm going to be using the absolute filthy Electo. This is a tier 4 British tank destroyer, and it's incredibly mobile, and it has really high damage per minute for tier 4, 1,956, and enough penetration on its premium rounds to go through even tier 6 tanks, if it should meet them. The Electo just has everything, but one of the standout highlights of this vehicle is its absolute mind-boggling concealment when it's stationary and still very good concealment when it's moving. It actually, I believe, has the third highest concealment when it's stationary in the game, and you might be interested to know that the actual highest concealment when stationary in World of Tanks is on a tier 3, I believe, Swedish tank destroyer. It's the IKV-72. So, back to what I was talking about with the video earlier this year. Low tier tanks are just... the players aren't there, the challenge isn't there. I'm not a SEAL clubber. I'm always trying to test myself and try and go for that next quest and that next high. And while definitely I've got something to talk about in this video just because of the preposterous result that we're going to have, what you're really going to be seeing is what happens when you use high tier tactics again and high tier knowledge and mechanics against low tier players. So one of the first things that I thoroughly recommend that everybody does at low tiers, now especially that you're not playing on Himmelsdorf all the time, is to consider taking binoculars on every single one of your vehicles, apart from arguably maybe a Panzer B2 740 or a Matilda, which is more focused on close quarters combat. That is because view range is your opportunity to be able to destroy your opponents at distances that they can't see you. If you can pump up your view range with skills like Brothers in Arms, Recon, Situational Awareness at high tier, everybody knows what kind of an advantage it is. Now, while I don't even have 6th Sense, I believe, on my Electo in this gameplay, I don't think I have many, if any, 2-skill, let alone 3-skill crews on any of my low tier vehicles. However, one of the great ways to compensate is to use binoculars. It doesn't matter if you don't have situational awareness, recon, brothers in arms. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if you don't have a 100% crew. The binoculars can really help out to be able to spot your opponents at decent distances. And that is one way to just... if they can't see you, then how can they damage you, right? Low tier players are not like high tier players, but they figured out that they can shoot vehicles blind, apart from a few of them, as we're maybe going to be seeing later on in the gameplay. But all that really shows is those players probably shouldn't be still playing at this kind of a level anymore. So luckily for me, it looks like the Panzer B2 has managed to spot the T40. Now I've got my binoculars activated. There's a chance I'll be able to spot them when they're firing. Probably not when they're sitting still. Definitely not when they're sitting still, and probably not even while they are pulling backwards. So in this kind of a situation, the Electo, it's just all about trying to set up a position where I can get a line of fire. My team, even though I've managed to pick up 4 kills in this game, and I've killed more vehicles than the rest of my team combined so far, we are still down by a tank, and we are down by a substantial amount of hit points. In this kind of a situation, the last thing that I really want to do in the Electo is kind of be where the enemies are not going to advance. You always have to be thinking about setting up a line of fire where you think the next opportunity is going to be. And for me, that is going to be chilling at the back with the M4A1 and hopefully waiting for some of these Panzer B2 740s to make mistakes. I actually want to question for a second, are those just Panzer B2s, the French heavy tank? Have Wargaming changed the naming structure? I don't think so. I think the French heavy tank's actually called the B1 and not the B2. I'm pretty sure these are German vehicles. Alright, so let's see if we can manage to shut this one down. Oh no, a bit of a disastrous miss there. I'm going to be loading a cheeky amount of gold ammunition here just to be able to secure the kill against these Panzer B2s. Because yeah, that definitely looks German with that camo. That's definitely not the French variety. Okay, well the gloves are off. Let's see if we can shut them down, right? Little tier 4 premium tanks. I always like to roleplay a little bit when I'm playing low tier tanks, and I do feel as if I'm the SEAL Club police going down, right? Because I can tell you, if I wasn't in this game, there's no doubt that my team would have lost against the Panzer B2s on the enemy team. Panzer B2s are kinds of vehicles where you can literally just drive around nonchalantly. You've got kind of 60mm of all-round armor. You've got enough penetration to be able to deal with whatever is against you. And again, because of that super preferential matchmaking, unless you're playing against Matildas or T6 mediums that are loading gold rounds at you, there's pretty much nothing that you can do. So I'm trying to use would I consider this to be a high tier tactic? Communication! Yes, possibly, with my team. I'm asking the M8A1 on my team if they can cover the H1 area. Effectively, what I'm doing is asking whether the M8A1 can use the position that I was in earlier, because if he uses that, then he can stop any of the tank destroyers that may be trying to flank us. And lo and behold, there we go. The Su-76 was trying to flank from that position. Luckily for me, the M8A1 manages to find them before they're possibly going to get shut down. There you go, by the B2. Oh no, sorry, that was actually the Matilda that got shut down. And take a look at this thing's rate of fire. And because it doesn't even have that bad dispersion, and darn good aim time at 1.7 seconds, it actually can continuously get that DPM out, which is something that not a lot of low-tier tanks can achieve. Alright, so the Panzer B2 now knows where I am. Blind firing at the bush. Nice shot there. The second shell that hits me this game from a Panzer B2. And I'm a bit concerned about the possibility of a Stug maybe trying to approach from the west, but oh, this has got to be the kill shot right here. 0.37 base accuracy on this gun. Another big tip for the Electo, if you do fancy taking it out on the battlefield, is I actually don't like to use the top gun. I like to use the 57mm gun, which I think is also called a 6-pounder on this vehicle. It is phenomenal because of the DPM and the extraordinarily high gold penetration as well. And it's not like you have to fire gold in this tank. The standard rounds are usually more than enough with 110mm to be able to deal with your opponents. You can see here I switched to the regular rounds to be able to save a few credits as I go to town on the side of the Stug. And I know that that vehicle has about 330 or even 350 meters base view range, and so there's no chance they can spot me when I'm stationary, even when I'm firing, unless they have an incredibly good crew or they're using coated optics on that tank. Alright, so now we're up to 6 kills, and the only other player who's really doing a tremendous amount here is the AMX 105AM _creeper_ in their little tier 4 French artillery, also having picked up 3 kills in this game. So what I'm going to do here is try and actually make a play to get towards the Sturmpanzer II. I believe that's what that vehicle is called. I'm going to fire a high explosive round. It doesn't actually manage to penetrate, which is a bit disappointing. So instead I'm just going to load AP rounds and go to town on them. Actually, am I lying? Did the HE round actually penetrate, but it only does 100 damage? Oh, that's a little bit disappointing. Yeah, it did actually penetrate, 108. That's really bad scaling. It shows you that the HE rounds on this tank are actually incredibly lackluster. Alrighty then, so here we go. QuickyBaby playing his little low-tier premium tank in a 1 versus 3 scenario. The M8A1 seems to be happy with my performance so far, saying good job. 7, I guess, counting the amount of kills in this game. And unfortunately, you're seeing where the Electo actually has pretty bad gun depression. You'll see that at least I'm sitting in this bush now, and I should be hidden from the hill, and I probably should be hidden from behind. And if I get spotted from the front, well, I'm likely to be able to pound the Stug into submissions to stop them from being able to take our cap. Looks like the Stug actually possibly managed to spot me there, so I need to get moving as quickly as I possibly can. And by being sneaky and setting up an ambush, we secure our 8th kill on this game, now up to 1,865 damage, more than I think is the average in a lot of tier 9 tanks, and that's something that I like to see. Luckily for me, the SU-5, even though they've come forwards, was unable to be able to hit me. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is a fairly awkward situation here. Yeah. He was actually wiggling his turret slightly just before we managed to shut them down. And I actually brake checked and went behind the building there to be able to avoid the artillery shell. Now up to 9 kills in the absolute disgusting little Electo. And in this kind of a situation, I'm still a little bit concerned. I think the SU-5, if it manages to penetrate me, can still one-shot me. And the Electo, yeah, it has 6 millimeters of frontal armor. It's open on top, so it's pretty much like a basket that the enemy artillery is going to try and slam dunk me. It's got 10 millimeters of side armor as well. Creeper on my team in the AMX 105 AM says, I think we're going to be on YouTube. Yeah. The M8A1 also says, this guy is hell. I guess from this perspective, I could understand why a lot of players want to be able to play low-tier tanks. I guess it's because they get that sense of satisfaction of going on large kill streaks that people are just not able to do inside their high-tier games. But I have to admit, it's still kind of not an excuse with that regard. Oh, here we go. I've got an HE round loaded for the SU-5. Oh, one into the gun shield, unable to be able to find him. Or maybe we will. No, not quite. But it's still really not an excuse. I think players kind of need to, well, firstly, look, it's a game. You do whatever you want to do. You play the game however you want and have fun. I'm going to apparently get revenge for the M8A1, who the SU-5 shut them down, and then hopefully I'm going to be able to shut down this SU-5 as we come around the corner. Clutch reactions in there. Beautiful stuff. Fabulous. We managed to get them and win this game of World of Tanks. But I do feel that, while sure, you can bomb it around and use all of your knowledge that you've managed to pick up to kill 2/3 of the enemy team in a tier 4 tank, it still feels like such a shallow victory. It's not impressive. Anybody can go down to low tiers and have all of the advantages, both with the knowledge that they've been able to build up and also by using the correct equipment and consumables on a tank, and win purely because of those, the advantages that they have against the inexperience of the enemy team. And yeah, to reiterate once again as to why you don't see much, if any, low tier gameplay on this channel, it's because the challenge isn't there. And even a 10 kill game like this just doesn't feel nearly as satisfying as having even a reasonable game at tier 10. So an ace tanker here for our 1134 base experience, and our triple the damage of anyone else on our team gives us a high caliber. Because this is a tier 4 tank, even though we managed to get 10 kills, it doesn't count as a pools medal, and so we get a lowly top gun. And so ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is what happens when you use high-tier tactics against low-tier tanks. Set up your view range, use your bushes, use your focus of your equipment on the strengths of your vehicle. In the Electo's case, that is the view range, the camera rating, and the DPM. And then when you've mastered that, maybe retire at low tiers, and then step a few up, where at least the real challenge starts to begin. Anyway, that's it for today, ladies and gents. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. And let me know in the comments what are some of your favorite low-tier SEAL clubbers and whether you feel really dirty playing them. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.